Hey guys, it's Karina with Karina Lives to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. So here I am with my currently inked for the month of August. Now before I actually do the ink swatches for these, I'm going to take you through how July went and give you a little bit of an update as to what I thought of those pen and ink combinations. Let's get started. So for the month of July, this was the first month I actually still had three pens from the previous month of June as part of my currently inked for July. So I had the Cross Botanica Green Daylily, the Sailor Pro Gear in the white rose gold, and then my Pelikan M400 in the white tortoiseshell. And after I had inked all of these up, I thought, I have so many pens inked up, so much ink, and I don't write a lot on a day-to-day basis. I write a little bit for work, and then I write in my planner, and then I write in my daily spread for my Hobonichi cousin. So I don't do a ton of writing on a day-to-day basis. So I was starting to get a little panicky that I just had too much inked up. So what I actually started doing in the month of July is I'm taking this book. This is actually a book that I got from work, the 7 Powerful Mindset Changes for Lasting Weight Loss. It's basically the shift from Dr. Gary Foster. And I started, let's see here. Oh, I don't want to lose my place. I started actually transcribing it, and so writing it out as a way to, one, get the information into my head, but two, also use up my lovely, lovely inks. And it was actually a really great way to also practice my writing, and it's such a calming practice. I didn't think it would be, because I remember just in university taking tons and tons of notes, but this is actually such a calming practice, and I was able to use up all of the ink. You know, I loved this combination. I love the Herbin inks in my Cross Botanica because it is such a wet writer. It will make any dry ink seem like a wet ink, have wet flow. The Sailor Pro Gear with the Yurameku Itazora, really great combination. I feel like though I'm getting away from the finer nibbed pens and really wanting something slightly broader, putting more ink down on the page. And then my Pelikan M400 white tortoiseshell with the Robert Oster gold Antica. So lovely. I love that combination. I'm getting to the end of it. I'm realizing that my Pelikans have a huge ink capacity, so I really need to be careful for how much I put in there. My Pilot Kakuno with the medium nib with the Pilot Iroshizuku Chiku Rin has been what I've been using this month in my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal. I've only been using it in that. I haven't used it for anything else, and I actually had to refill the pen around the 20th of July, and I only filled it like half up. That says a lot about the Con 40 converter. It's not a huge capacity ink or converter, but that's what works for me. But that medium nib on that Pilot Kakuno is so smooth. I love it. And then my Esterbrook JR Fantasia with the extra fine nib with Diamine Blue Velvet. Really good combination. I'm finding now that Fantasia, like while still it feels a bit too, not too, but a little bit narrow and a little bit light in my hands, the way that I've got the nib now versus when I first got it, it is much smoother, and the Diamine worked really, really well in that pen. Really good combination. And then the Lamy All-Star, it says here I started with an extra fine nib, but then I ended the month with a 1.1 stub, and so smooth. The Lamy nibs that I do have now are so smooth. I did have one, my very, very first Lamy Safari was just the scratchiest nib, and I didn't know what to do with it. But now the Lamy nibs that I have right straight out of the box, I don't have to do anything with them. And that pink is just so fun to use. And then lastly, my Pelikan M605 in the black tortoise with the Sailor Yurameku Yoi ink. Fantastic combination. Love it. My only thing with the M605 is that this is the new, I guess, formulation in the way that they do the body. I can't see into the body at all. I've tried to put it up to the light to see how much ink is left, and I cannot see into it. I love the pen, but that is the one drawback, is that I cannot see the ink level in there whatsoever. So it's like a complete guessing game as to whether or not there is any ink in there. I mean, it still writes, but I don't want to get to the middle of like a journal entry and then run out of ink. But anyway, still fantastic writer. So basically, out of all of the ones that I wrote with in July, I loved the Lamy All-Star. with the extra fine nib. It almost seems unfair to say that I loved it better with the 1.1 stub because that's not what I started with. I did love the Pelikan M605 with the Sailor Yurameku Yoi. And the shading in it, once I started writing with it, was fantastic. But then I loved the Pilot Kakuno with the Chiku Rin as well. So I don't know. I really like them all. I don't think there is any particular one that I didn't like from my July currently inked. But anyway, so I will take you guys through the pens that I do have inked for August. The first pen I have inked up is actually one that I also inked up in July, but I put the 1.1 stub nib on it. And this is the pen that I'm going to be using in my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal for the month of August. So this is the Lamy All-Star in Cosmic, and it currently has a 1.1 millimeter stub on it, and it has Pilot Iroshizuku Kosumosu in this. And I love the way that this stub nib writes. It's definitely done something to my writing that I'm really, really happy with. But also this pink ink is such a great punchy pink. So I'm doing the sample both on my Midori A6 notebook as well as here in my Hobonichi A6 with the Tomoe River paper. I like to combine, or not combine, but see the way that the pen and ink react to both types of paper. So that is the Lamy All-Star with the Pilot Iroshizuku Kosumosu ink with a 1.1 stub nib. Love this. Look at how different though they look between the two papers. It looks more red in the Midori than it does in the Tomoe River paper. Ooh, so excited to use this in my journal. So the next pen that I have on my list here is my newest acquisition. This is the Benu Euphoria in Ocean Breeze, and I can't stop turning it around like that over and over again. And this currently has in it Sailor Manyo Haha. So I wanted to try an ink in this that was full of shading. I wanted to put it in a pen that was slightly wetter because the ink for Sailor Manyo, I needed it to be able to show its beautiful shading properties. So I wanted to showcase my newest pen with this ink. So not a huge fan of it on the Midori paper, but I do love how smooth this is. So far I'm loving the Benu with the Sailor Manyo on the Tomoe River paper. So this is with a fine nib, and I really like how wet this is. I feel like the Manyo ink is gonna be a little bit drier, but if you put it in a wetter nib like this Benu, it's gonna work out really, really well. So I'm excited for that combination. So the next pen I have is my Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo in the champagne color. And this currently has Pilot Iroshizuku Tsuki-Yo in it. And this was one of the samples that I got recently in a PenChalet order. And I wanted kind of a dark blue color. I didn't even show you guys what I wanted to, what I chose basically, or what I based my choices on. It really is based on what I want to decorate my planner spreads with. So let's see how this looks on the Midori paper versus the Tomoe River paper. I love how that goes down on the Midori paper, and it is so smooth, even with the fine nib. But I love the Pilot nibs anyway, really, really smooth. This is so, so smooth on the Tomoe River paper. I love the way that that blue looks. It's like a darker teal. I don't even know what to call that, but I really, really love it. So that is my Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo with a fine nib with Pilot Iroshizuku Tsuki-Yo. So the next pen that I have, let's see here, yes, let's do this, is my Pelikan 140, and it currently has Herbin Vert de Gris. So this is my first and only vintage pen at the moment. I love how this pen writes. It's got an extra fine nib, but this also has quite a bit of flex in it. It's such a pretty, pretty pen. Oh, that flex nib is so fun to play with. But look at the difference already in between the Midori paper and the Tomoe River paper. It looks that this ink looks slightly lighter on the Tomoe River paper, but this is going to be so fun to play with this flex nib. So once again, this is my Pelikan 140 with an extra fine nib that does have flex in it. So, so fun. So the next one that I have is my TWSBI Diamond 580, and it currently has Robert Oster Violet Clouds. Now this was one of the first ones that I ever tried from Robert Oster, but I haven't actually put it in a pen yet, so I'm really excited to see what this looks like. I love the way that looks, that shimmer ink. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I haven't used this before. Look at the shimmer in that. This looks so pretty, and I'm excited to be able to use this with my TWSBI Diamond 580. And I chose this with a fine nib because I feel like I enjoy the smoothness better. It's a wetter nib. I'm so excited to use that. I mean, look at the shading in that already. Gorgeous. All right, so the last pen that I have inked up for the month of August is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in Dragon Palace, and this currently has Sailor Yurameku Kitsune Biyori. Ooh, I chose this because one of the sticker kits that I'll be using for this month, it has a little bit of brown in it, but it'll be a nice neutral color to use. And as you can tell, I don't really match my ink colors with my pens. It's for me more about the overall experience rather than matching ink colors to pens. But also I don't want to have a whole ton of pens in all a bunch of different colors because that could get dangerous very quickly. That is so smooth on the Tomoe River paper, and it's got a great wet flow, this ink in my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first because the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, depending on the ink, can feel really dry and a little bit too fine, but with this combination I think I'm going to be really excited to use this. So those are my pen and ink combinations for the month of August. I'm really excited. I know there's no specific color palette that I'm going for, and it doesn't really look that summery, but I'm really excited. I mean, like, I am looking forward to using that Violet Clouds, but also Fair Degree and Tsuki-Yo. It'll be really interesting to finally use Manyo in a pen as well. And I mean, who wouldn't be excited to use a Benu? Okay, all right, I'm just like, ooh, okay, I'm excited. You can tell how excited I am for my currently inked. All right, whew. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoy doing these videos, and I love being able to talk to you guys about your ink choices for the month, so please comment down below what you're writing with for the month of August. Thanks again so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.